CBS Sports NFL insider Jason La Canfora joining us. Bad brains, huh?
DP, you know how much high esteem I already hold you in. But if you knew that without being told, if you knew that was Bad Brains banned in D.C., you have now risen to such a hierarchy in my mind. I don't even know who else is up there with you.
I got Punk Street. I got
Obviously you do.
Yeah.
You're done with D.C. hardcore, then, we got to go to some shows in New York next year.
PMA.
Yeah, positive, absolutely. Keep preaching, brother.
All right, there you go.
Maybe HR's listening right now. You never know.
All right, thanks for coming on, Jason.
Yep, okay, thanks for having me.
Bye. Let's recap the tight end argument. Now, where do we stand with Jimmy Graham? Okay, I can't revisit the dinner. That's because, you know what, it got to the point where it was awkward for all of us.
Really? I don't know. I still thought it was basically fun.
How would you summarize the discussion we had at dinner that night in Midtown Manhattan, where we took over the entire restaurant? What was that, the Italian restaurant?
That was the Quality Italian.
Quality Italian, Midtown Manhattan, and it got to the point where people were just staring at us. And they knew Tony Dungy. They didn't know us, but they were like, oh, that poor man. Are they yelling at Tony Dungy? So I was picking sides. I said I'll take Jimmy Graham, and you said that you would take Vernon Davis, best tight end.
Yes.
All right. How did it end, do you think?
I thought a good time was had by all day. I thought it was spirited. I thought it was all in good fun, and I thought it symbolized the best qualities of sports radio in real life. No? You had a different take on it?
It got to the
How much wine did I drink? Because that probably will be in direct proportion to how animated it got. I didn't think it got out of control. But I come from a crazy Italian family, so my standards may be completely askew.
I think that we didn't understand the volume.
Probably.
That was the key. I think points were made, and you still stand by Vernon Davis is the best tight end in football, right?
Well, because he's a tight end and Jimmy Graham is.
Okay. Jimmy Graham is, let's see, Darren Sproles a running back?
Yes.
Okay, he's listed as a running back, but he's not a running back, right?
He catches balls, but at least he lines up where a running back generally will line up. Okay. Not that he's not split out sometimes.
Okay, so Graham is split out like 4 more feet than he should be. So he's 4 feet away from being a tight end, right?
He does. Well, I don't see a lot of blocking requirements in his game. When you are an inline tight end and they run weak side 75% of the time rather than run to your side, that's telling me he ain't really there to block.
Okay, you have a non-quarterback draft. First player non-quarterback taken is who?
In the entire league?
Entire league.
Wow.
Offensively.
I'd like to think about it for more than 15 seconds. Non-quarterback first player taken. It's not going to be a running back.
No, I take Calvin Johnson right away.
Yeah, I'm going to say one of the freak receivers. I mean, you make your case for Cal. I mean, Calvin's knees might give you a little bit of pause, and he's older than some of these guys. Maybe AJ, maybe Julio.
Is Jimmy Graham top 5 non-quarterback?
Possibly.
Begrudgingly.
Possibly. And Vernon's not. You know, our whole thing was the semantics of whether I'm going to call this guy a tight end or not. And if the system arbitrator rules that he's not a tight end, then I dare say, Dan, that
you win.
My argument holds.
But if he's viewed as a tight end, I'm bad brains.
Then you're bad brains, and I'm the opening hand. Yeah.
We're talking to Jason La Canfora of CBS, the NFL Today studio show, CBS Sports Network, CBSSports.com. Somebody going to pony up 2 first-round picks for Jimmy Graham?
No.
Okay.
No, I think that's a non-starter.
Did NFL.com or NFL Network have that story?
Which story?
About the possibility of somebody ponying up 2 first-round picks.
As a reality? As like a likelihood?
Yeah.
I missed that one, thankfully.
Okay.
That's one I didn't have to try to knock down on Twitter.
Make some sense of the Texans here, that it seems like they're open to drafting everybody. I did like the Matt Castle possibility with Bill O'Brien. He knows what he's getting.
Yeah.
It allows you to have your quarterback, take away that issue, and you can go after Jadeveon Clowney or trade the pick if you want to. What do you think they do eventually?
I think they get Matt Castle and they draft a quarterback there. Now, unless throughout
Wait,
this
they take
process,
Castle and take a quarterback?
I think so.
Well, you can't take Manziel and then have him sit.
No, I don't think he'll sit. Matt Castle's a backup. Matt Castle Matt Castle is like, when you take mental reps and you watch Matt Castle, you're watching exactly how all the fundamentals should be done on a Bill O'Brien offense. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's there to be the mentor. He's there to be the teacher. He's there to take the kid to dinner and make sure he's studying film afterwards. You know what I mean? He's the big brother.
All right. So you see them.
But I think Bortles. I think if O'Brien gets his way, it's Bortles.
I do too. But I'm higher on Manziel than most people are.
I'm a Johnny Football guy. I'm with you.
Okay, but I think Jacksonville, that if I'm Jacksonville, I got to have him.
I'm with you. Now, will they do? I mean, they're pretty conservative there. They've got a young GM in Dave Caldwell. A lot of times those guys will kind of go safer. You saw what they did last year. They let the tackle come to them.
What about Cleveland?
What's that? No, Cleveland under the old regime would have done it. Cleveland under Ray Farmer. Now you're talking first-time GM. I think they trade down. I think what Cleveland does is get Matt Schaub, and Schaub and Hoyer fight it out. They maybe draft a quarterback in the second or third, and they take Sammy Watkins if he's sitting there and/or try to trade down.
Give me the quarterback who is going to have that fall. That we usually see that in the first round every year. Bridgewater?
I still think with all the needs, you still have Oakland in there. There's so many teams that have a need. I don't know that he falls significantly. I still think 3 go pretty high, Dan. I think 3 may go in the first 6 or 7. I don't know that. I think those 3 are okay, and then everybody else, you know what I mean? I don't know that anyone has a Carr or Garoppolo hard and fast peg somewhere. So I think with those guys, it's a little more nebulous right now where exactly they'll go. But I do think we'll have a cluster of 3 very high in the first round. We'll have another cluster of 2 or 3 that could go late first into the early second.
Michael Vick's future.
I think it's with the New York Jets. There'll be some other teams that are interested in him. I could see San Francisco sniffing around him. I could see Buffalo sniffing around him. I think in the end, though, I wrote a column today at CBSSports.com kind of connecting the dots on these quarterbacks. And the more work I did on that, the more convinced I became that he and Marty Mornhinweg will be making some music together again.
But he wants to start, so he's not going to – is he going to start with the Jets?
I think eventually. I don't know where, other than Oakland, where do you slot him and say he's definitely starting?
Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't see him in Norv. I see that as a Josh McCown type situation. I don't know about him in Norv's offense. I don't know how well that would go. But yeah, I could see Minnesota as a spot where you probably can start right away. But he's had chances to go to Oakland in the past. He hasn't done it. I don't think he'll do it now. I believe that he thinks that Geno Smith will end up being on a relatively short leash, and that he may get a chance to save the day there.
Tony Dungy specifically told Michael Vick when he came out of prison, the one place I'm not going to let you go is Oakland.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good reason. And you look at that team right now, I mean, I think, Dan, they have waiting for the numbers to come through and them to finalize this thing with their tackle. But as it stands now, I think they only have $48 million in payroll committed for next year.
Wow.
I mean, just think about that. The league year starts in 5 days. They have $48 million in committed cash. That's it. Most teams have already close to double that committed for next year.
It's unbelievable. Speaking of money, you said the starting price for Colin Kaepernick is going to be, we started $20.5 million. What I heard today and yesterday is of the following. Is he a leader? His personality, he's not Russell Wilson.
Right.
But just his personality, as you pony up $20.5 million, there was concern with Cutler and his personality, and is he a leader?
Right.
That to me, I think, is it maybe not front burner, but it's a concern that is this our guy, the guy he hangs, the group that he hangs with, who is Colin Kaepernick, and is he going to be the leader? I think we worried about that with Cam Newton in Carolina, but you saw a maturation process with him. I think that is a little bit of a concern for the Niners. Am I making a little bit more out of that?
I mean, I think if we're looking at the totality of the picture, is there, and it's a pie chart, is there some sliver of that pie?
Yeah.
That gives them, I won't even say pause, but maybe is that chopped up internally in that organization? Perhaps, but I mean, like Tony Romo, right? He still has the knock when it really matters. Can he put the team on the back? Blah, 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 blah. He got paid big time. Cutler.
But it's not his personality that has hurt him with the Cowboys. Cutler's personality was an issue.
But leadership with the Cowboys, right? Isn't that what we always come down to? DeMarcus Ware, not
they don't have any leadership.
Doesn't grab people by the throat on defense. Tony doesn't grab people by the throat on offense.
Yeah.
Cutler, not a leader. Didn't stop him from getting paid. Flacco, I live in Baltimore. I mean, they destroyed this. I mean, people hated his person. Oh, he's too morose. He doesn't have a pulse. He got $20 million.
Because he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but Kaepernick came damn close to winning a Super Bowl. And Dan, look, let's go back to when Harbaugh made that move. Fairly controversial, veteran team, high expectations, goes with this kid who's never, started a game mid-season. He won that. He won a lot of games. He won that team over. They played their butts off for him. A lot of guys emerged in that offense who previously weren't as robust when Smith was the quarterback. So I don't know. I mean, I think leaders come in different shapes and sizes.
I agree.
I think this kid, if he didn't have tattoos all over him, I don't know that we're talking about this.
Well, no, it's not that, because I was told the group he hangs with. So the tattoos don't bother me. When you saw those silly columns where we're talking about, he's got tats. Okay, big deal. Look at them. They're Bible verses,
Right.
So, I have more concerns than that. I need a little bit more from him. I would do the Flacco situation where I'd say, play out this season. If you strike gold and win a Super Bowl, we'll pay you commensurate to that. But before I let you go, Backstabbing Paulie, my producer, did the following. He I
heard this driving home from the gym. He set you up with Russell Wilson.
Yes, he
right?
did. Okay, if I said build a team right now, and I just said Russell Wilson or Andrew Luck, same salary, building a team. You don't have Seattle's team or the Colts team right now. Who are you taking?
I have to take Luck. I'm a huge Russell Wilson guy, though. And Pete Prisco and I got into a heated debate in a crowded restaurant, very much like you and I debate, during the Super Bowl, in which I think it got even more, I don't know.
Well, wait a minute. Why do you have to take Luck? You said you have to take him. Why?
I don't think he's the complete package. I don't really know what I can knock that kid on. It's very, very hard to come up with something to knock him down a peg, or physically, mentally, all the way around. Total gym rat. Eats, sleeps, loves the game, doesn't really have a life outside the game. He's just all about winning. And you're right, he doesn't have the supporting cast. I will say this, though. He plays in the crappiest division in football, which helps. And he plays in a dome. So I think Russell, for being a small man, as he's dubbed, he's got to play big man defenses. He has to play in the elements, a lot of rain, all that stuff. So, I think it's closer than maybe some would say, but I have to take Luck.
Well, but he only has to put up 17 points to win a game. Andrew Luck knows, every game is going to be, like the Kansas City Chiefs. We got to score. Our defense isn't any good. I got no running game, and I got T.Y. Hilton. Reggie Wayne got injured. I mean, what he did was pretty remarkable.
No, and he doesn't have much of an offense. I mean, his offensive line is mostly guys. I mean, it's not. You're not looking at anybody on an offensive line and saying that's a stud. That's a guy who's going to make people around him better. No, look, Andrew Luck is. He's going to have an amazing Hall of Fame career. There's really no. As long as he stays healthy, I don't think anyone's going to debate you on that.
If I said Kaepernick or Andrew Luck.
I still have to take Andrew Luck.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Cam Newton?
We're getting closer, but I'm still going to say Andrew Luck.
All right, I'll see you at dinner.
Hey, Spiderwebs, have a good one.
All right, thank you, buddy. Jason Long at 4. His nickname is Spiderwebs.